It's Tuesday, April 21st, 2026, and we have 7 straight days of severe weather ahead of us according to the SPC, and it could potentially be 8. We also have a lot of cool air on the way as well, so let's jump right into this video. We're going to start off with our severe weather first. This is today's severe threat, really not much. You have that little marginal over there in California, and then you also have Chicago, Northwestern, Indiana, Northeastern, Illinois in this marginal as well. If we break this down, no tornado threat, a little bit of a wind threat. You have that out there in California as well, and no hail threat. Not much going on today, obviously. We push into day 2. There's our categorical risk stretching from the southern plains up through the northern plains, and we break this down. No tornado threat. We do have that wind threat in the northern mode of this severe threat tomorrow, and then we have that hail threat as well. Things start to get a little bit more interesting as we get into day 3. We already have a hatched region here, which means we could see some significant severe weather, whether that be significant damaging winds, large hail, or tornadoes. But you can see we have that 5 to 15% risk zone stretching from the southern plains through the upper Midwest. And that hatch region does include cities like Tulsa, Oklahoma, Oklahoma City, Kansas City, Topeka, Wichita, Omaha, Lincoln, Grand Island. There's a good amount of large cities in that hatched area. And this is likely going to expand. We're likely going to see, again, this risk zone move a little bit. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw an enhanced on this. It does look like we could have a pretty nice flow at the 500 and down at the 850 millibar level. So we could have some good shear and a lot of instability in this region. This would be on Thursday. This is our day 3. So for Thursday, getting into day 4, this is Friday. Some more severe weather down here through portions of the southern plains and Dixie Alley. Getting into Saturday, same region. Getting into Sunday, almost identical. I expect this to probably change a little bit, but it's almost identical getting into Sunday. And then getting into Monday, we have that severe threat actually pushing east. So this is going to include potentially portions of Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky. So we're pushing a little bit farther east. We haven't had severe weather out here near the southeast for quite a while. We do need rainfall out there. So I think some of this, at least precipitation, will be welcomed. Let's quickly take a look at what's going on precipitation wise. As I was just saying, over the next couple days, most of that moisture is going to be focused down here through portions of central to eastern Texas and up there in the northwest. Push out to 72 hours. We start to get a little bit of that precipitation moving up through portions of the central plains. We get out towards 5 days. You'll start to see that moving further east. Again, we really need a lot of moisture out here in the southeast, especially the Carolinas. Georgia could really use this right now. And then we push out towards 7 days. You can see a lot of precipitation up there in the northwest, the plains, Midwest, and then we're getting a lot down there in the southeast finally as well. I did want to show you the temperature outlook here. There we go. So this is our 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. A nice cool down late April into May. Again, this isn't over the next 6 days. This is starting at the 6th day. So today's Tuesday. This would basically be starting next Monday. So next week, really Monday to Thursday, this is going to be pretty nice. Conditions are going to be pretty nice temperature wise for most of the country. This is especially when you're talking about 5 to 15 degrees below average in late April. You're going to be having really, really nice conditions, 50s to the low 70s through a lot of these areas, especially out here in the plains. Could get a little cold up there in the northern plains though. Southeast still stays a little bit warm. Get out towards the 8 to 14 day, and this is as we're getting into early May. Pretty nice. Pretty nice for most of us across the country. Maybe a little bit warm in the south here, but not too bad. Not too bad up there in the northwest as well. I do want to break down this cold air a little bit more. All right, so let's break this down, really, the 7 to 10 day forecast real quick. Here we go. This is the latest GFS. Moving forward in time, you can see a little bit of moisture moving into the northwest here, maybe some nice snow for portions of the Cascades, Sierra Nevada, and then up there through the northern Rockies. Really nice system moving through portions of Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. So probably a lot of snowfall up there for some of you guys, and then some rain, obviously, on the southeastern portion of this. But this is also scooping some more snow back into the northern Rockies. This is going to bring with it some cold air across the northern plains and upper Midwest. This is over the next really 72 to 96 hours. You'll see that cold air moving into the northern Rockies and the northern plains. And with this, you're going to see those low pressures develop across the plains. And this is where we have our severe weather threat. You can see right around this region here. So we're going to be getting some snow, like I said, northern Rockies, potentially northern plains, through portions of Canada, but then some severe weather right out ahead of this. We move forward in time. Now we're getting into late Friday night. You can see that moisture moving across portions of the Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes region. Now we get into Saturday, and this is when we could actually see some severe weather transitioning down here through portions of the Gulf states and then out there towards the southeast. This is going to be welcome. So especially if you're out there, like I said, I mean, really Alabama up through the Carolinas, Virginia, we could finally get some moisture moving into that region as we get into late Friday into Saturday, maybe even Sunday as well. Still got a strong upper level low spinning up there as we push through this weekend, really up there towards Saskatchewan and Manitoba. This is going to help to move some storm systems, help with some trough ejections once again across the southern plains up through the Midwest and Great Lakes region. This is why we could see 7, 8 straight days of severe weather again. This severe weather gets a little bit more dangerous as we get into into late April and early May, because the warmer we get, typically the more energy we get, the more instability we get, the higher dew points we get. So you don't want an active setup late April and May. This is a pretty active setup, so we need to watch it very closely, and you can see some more severe weather potentially in those same areas that we're watching it really over this next week. And really nonstop moisture here. And you could kind of see that when I showed you the 7-day precipitation forecast. Let me show that one more time. When we were taking a look over here at the 7-day precipitation forecast, you can really see how much moisture is going to be moving across the country. And I think if you push this out to 10 days, you're seeing a lot more through portions of the plains as well. Probably actually even getting down into portions of the Southwest and then into the southern plains here as well, into western Texas. Taking a look at our temperature anomalies, a little bit warm right now out in the west, a little bit cold in the east. We're going to have a little bit of push and pull over the next few days of warm and cold air. But watch as we move through this weekend and into next week. This cold air wants to sink down into the states and then try and stick around for a while. Looks like a very cold period getting into late April and early May, at least cold for this time of year. We're talking about a potentially 7+ day span where we could have temperatures anywhere from 10 to 20+ degrees below average across much of the states, especially across the plains and out east, as you can see here. Now, this is pretty far out in the GFS, but there's a lot of cold air on the way. Here's the 10-day temperature anomaly between April 26 and May 6. This is the European ensemble, and you can see cold end to April, cold beginning to May. Snow as well. It's weird we're talking about snow again in late April, but the Rockies look like you're going to get some good snow potentially over the next, we'll call it 150 to 180 hours. So we'll have to watch that as well. I did want to show you what's happening with our upper level pattern here. Okay, so this is kind of where the main flow of our jet stream sits. We're up there at 200, 300 millibars. And it's pretty far south, and this is going to help bring some of that cold air down, and this is going to also help enhance some of these storm systems that are trying to move across portions of the southern plains up towards the Midwest, even across the Ohio Valley. You can see as we move this forward in time, this jet stream is, like I said, sitting pretty far to the south here. So this is what's going to, again, allow a lot of that colder air to sink in a little bit farther south than it typically would. Obviously, your jet's not really sitting up towards the Canadian border. It's sitting pretty far south here, and the El Nino we're transitioning into is going to potentially help to enhance this, or potentially help to throw some more moisture into this as well, which could even activate our severe weather threat over the next, I would say, 7 to 14 days, even more. It's a very active pattern ahead. Again, I don't like to look 300+ hours out, but it's a very active pattern we have ahead of us. All right, let's push over to the 500 millibar just to show you how active it is. There's that nice westerly, southwesterly flow as we begin to move into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You can see it moving in off the Pacific. You have that flow off the Pacific. You have a pretty strong upper level low up here. This is going to help to promote some of that divergence and allow for these thunderstorms to form as well. We continue to move forward in time, and really this jet starts to look really nice as we get into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday if we're taking a look at the 500 millibar. But we push out even further. Again, I don't typically like to look this far out, but a continued strong flow from the 500 millibar level. I mean, it's not velocity-wise the strongest I've seen, but it's just very, very persistent. So if we were to see any of this kind of strengthen or uptrend on the models, it would be pretty concerning. It definitely is a look for, again, 7, 8, 9+ days of severe weather in a row, potentially. Taking a look at the lower level too, at the 850 millibar, look what happens as we get into Thursday night. So this is Wednesday night here. A really strong southerly flow. We're going to have some wind convergence just to the east of the Rockies. A really strong southerly flow coming off the Gulf. This is going to bring with it a lot of instability, some high dew points, and some pretty warm temperatures. And then as we continue to move forward, there we go again. This is now as we're getting into Thursday night. Thursday night looks like it could get pretty spicy. I'm watching Thursday night really throughout this entire region here. Again, strong flow, a lot of shear at the lower levels, and we're going to have that 500 millibar that's going to try to organize this as well. But if we were to push this forward, you can see we just kind of keep getting these storm systems moving through. Here we go again. This is as we get into early next week. You've got another low pressure system moving across the country, and then we move into Tuesday, Wednesday. Here we go. This is lagging a little bit, but here we go. You continue to see that shear moving into the plains, moving out towards the Ohio Valley, and then this pushing out east. This could actually be some severe weather for the southeast as well. So like I said, very, very, very persistent pattern, if anything. We'll have to see how intense it's going to be, but a very persistent pattern, if anything, over the next week or two. Taking a look at our temperatures, again, they're going to be plenty warm, but I'm mainly looking at our Bear Clinic boundary. Do we have any sharp kind of gradients moving ahead here? And you're going to see that we do. We have some sharp gradients setting up, and we expect that in April and May. But where you get these sharp kind of cold and warm gradients, that's where we're going to have a lot of forcing, and that's where we could, again, see some outbreak days ahead of us. Taking a look at our dew points as well, we're definitely watching the plains for any sort of sharp dry line moving ahead here. Taking a look at the plains, especially getting into Wednesday night into Thursday, that's a pretty sharp gradient here. I would be watching this area very, very closely. Again, there's a lot of forcing here. You can have some thunderstorms really fire off quickly, especially if you get a nice flow at the 850 millibar level here. So you have that shear, you're able to get those rotating supercells forming along this gradient, this baroclinic boundary here. It can be pretty dangerous. Let's watch Thursday very closely. It starts to get a little bit more diffuse as we move into Friday, but again, you're going to see these dew points stretching up into the plains multiple times. This is a little bit of a concerning look as we get into Sunday as well. You can see what's happening here across Kansas and Oklahoma. You can actually kind of see the spin in the atmosphere as well. You can kind of see the low pressure spinning this instability, these dew points into itself. Moving forward here, you see those dew points being pushed off to the east. This is when we're probably going to be watching Dixie Alley as we get out towards Sunday, Monday. And then you get a little bit of dry air that moves in. We might get a little bit of a break, and then you get into the middle of next week and into late next week, and there you go. You have your dew points being pulled up into the center of the country again, up into the Midwest. So again, very, very active period of severe weather and a lot of cold weather ahead as well. I say cold for this time of year. Anyways, I really appreciate you guys watching this video. If you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're notified anytime I go live or post these videos. I do plan on going live tonight so we can kind of break down all of this severe weather a little bit more. You can ask me questions about snow, cold air, hurricane season, climatology, or the severe weather. I don't care. Come in, ask me questions. And if you want to join the Discord, there's almost 700 weather enthusiasts in my Discord. It's updated every day with all the weather knowledge you need to know, with all the latest updates. There's a link to my Discord right in the description below. Just click it, you join. It's completely free for you. It only costs me money. Again, I appreciate you guys watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video or in the live stream tonight.